Hello and thanks for watching Gary Teaches Maths. This is question 12 and it's a question about volumes of spheres. And we're told that the volume of Q is 50% more than the volume of P, and also to go from Q to R there's another 50% increase. And what we're asked to do is find the volume of P as a fraction of the volume of R. So we're looking for P over R. So in fact, I would start off by saying let the volume of P just equal P. And then if we've increased by 50% to go from P to Q, that as a decimal is 0.5 is what 50% is. But to do it as an actual increase, we can add it to 1 and we can create a multiplier. So our multiplier to increase something by 50% is equal to 1 plus 0.5. So we've got a multiplier of 1.5. What that means is the volume of Q is actually 1.5 times the volume of P. If Q is indeed 50% of what an increase on P. And similarly, if R is 50% bigger than Q, we could say, well, R is actually 1.5 times Q. If we then replace what we've got for Q, which is 1.5p, and replace the Q there by 1.5p, we get that R is 1.5 times by 1.5p. And if we work out what 1.5 times 1.5 is, we get 2.25, so 2.25p. So now we've got an equation linking R and P, but what we actually want is those as a fraction. So I'll just write this equation in the opposite order. So we'll say 2.25p is equal to R. So we want the P on its own there. So what we can do first of all is divide through by the 2.25. And what we'll end up with is P equals R divided by 2.25. That's because what I've done is I've divided both sides of this equation by 2.25, which puts it on the bottom of a fraction. So divide by 2.25 there on both sides. Okay, that's supposed to look like a 5 there. So next thing we want to do, we want the R to go into the denominator, the fraction on the left-hand side. We can do that again by dividing both sides now by R. So divide by R and divide by R, both sides by R. So now what I'll get is, I'll get P over R is equal to, and we end up with a 1 on the top of that fraction now, 1 over 2.25. And if we then we don't want it to be a decimal in this fraction, so we could try and turn the bottom number there into a whole number. And in fact, if I multiply that by 4 times by 4, what we will end up with, 2.25 times by 4 gives us 9. And if we open a fraction, times in by 4 at the bottom, we've got to do the same on the top, times by 4. So we end up with 4 over 9. And we've done it. So that's the volume of sphere P as a fraction of the volume of sphere R is actually 4 over 9. There we go. I hope that's been helpful to you. And I'd love it if you would like our video and subscribe to our channel, which is Gary Teaches Maths. And for further help, visit our website, which is bestmathstutors.co.uk. Thanks for watching.